Return the $40,000 your son took or stay out, Dad said, holding the door. My sister added, my daughter saw him near the safe. We all agreed. I smiled, dropped the bank records and her car lease on the table. 5 minutes later, her husband walked out, and I'm Kevin, a pathologist. In my family, I'd always been the background guy who fixed problems and funded emergencies. Alyssa was the golden child. I was the junk drawer. For years, I'd been their ATM. Can you cover dinner? Help with tuition? Your connections could get us that internship. I always said yes. My father kept a safe in his closet. Cash only. Over the years, money left for Alyssa's emergencies. The daycare bill, Brad's job gap, the SUV down payment. I picked up extra shifts while she bought cars with bows. That Sunday, they ambushed us. Alyssa stood ready for battle. Brad, as backup. Their 9-year-old Kindle watched. Kindle saw Eli near the closet. Alyssa said, the money's gone. We know it was him. I looked at my son, the quiet kid who plays chess. They picked him because he was defenseless. What's safe? I asked slowly. When was the money last counted? Don't make this harder, Kevin, my mother said. My aunt's voice drifted from the living room. He always was a strange one. That line triggered something cold in me. Not the dollar amount, but that casual cruelty. Did you call the police? I asked. My mother's face twisted like I'd suggested something obscene. This is family. Family means no police, no paperwork, no chain of custody. Just, we all agreed, counting as evidence. Okay, I said quietly. We're leaving. You come back with the money, my father warned. As we turned to go, my aunt's voice followed. He was always different. I drove Eli home in silence. At a red light, he whispered, can we still have chess after dinner? Yes, I said, gripping the wheel. But first, I'm going to collect the facts. For 2 days, I built a court case. I pulled bank statements, called credit unions, requested proofs. I printed Alyssa's car lease. She'd sent me a photo asking for advice. I accessed my father's hallway camera he'd forgotten about. 2 nights later, I walked back in with a banker's box. I set it on the coffee table. We're doing this with evidence. Alyssa rolled her eyes. Oh my God, Kevin! I pulled out the first folder. Here's Dad's transaction log from the safe. Last 3 withdrawals logged and signed. I looked at my father. The sum total at the end of September was $12,300, not $40,000. Silence. Dad must have miscounted, Alyssa tried. I laid down the second folder. Car lease for a 2024 Lexus. Signed in June. Down payment, $12,000 cash. I slid over bank statements showing 3 withdrawals from the safe, matching exactly with deposits into Alyssa's account. July 2nd, $10,000. August 19th, $5,000. September 30th, $3,000. I set down screenshots of Alyssa's Venmo payments to the dealership with captions like, car stuff LOL. My mother's mouth opened and closed. She looked small. Brad suddenly stood. I told you not to drag me into your family's weird cash obsession, he snapped at Alyssa. You people are insane. He grabbed his keys and walked out. The door slammed. Kindle flinched. Alyssa's hand shook as she took a step toward the door, then stopped, trapped. I pulled out my phone. There's also the security camera. I showed a time-stamped still. Alyssa on September 30th at 2:18 p.m. Stepping out of the bedroom with an envelope. That was for Mom's ring cleaning, Alyssa whispered. The envelope was labeled emergency, I said. You texted me that same night. Can you spot me $200 for Kindle's art camp? We're tight this month. My father sank into his chair. The beer in his hand looked heavy. So no, I said, voice steady. Eli didn't take $40,000. There wasn't $40,000 to take. You took it in chunks and didn't keep track. And when Dad panicked, you pointed at my son. I looked at each of them. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. You're not going to say Eli's name that way again. The next time money goes missing, you can call the police like people do when they think a crime occurred. But you won't call me and you won't blame my kid. I'm sorry, Alyssa whispered, but it sounded like a word she'd never used for real. Not to me, I said. To him, I put the folders back in the box. We're done here. If you want to speak to me again, start with an apology to Eli. If that sounds cold, remember who made it necessary. No one stopped me. Brad's car was already gone from the driveway.